Hello. Testing. Testing one, two, three. How about this one? How about this one? Alrighty. Last year I got a slot first thing in the morning on day 3. After you guys spent all night gambling with fake money. Whoa! Whoa! And I think to myself, wow, this year I got a slot in day 1. Yes! Before the keynote. So I'm like, I'm not really sure which is better. Better hands on. But thank you for showing up today. Um, Thank you for being here. Topic today is around AI. I think there's actually almost no conference nowadays that don't talk about some sort of an AI topic. So we're gonna start there to kick off the conference. Cool with you? All right, let's go. I should just show of hand. How many of you guys have already implemented some sort of AI in your sales process? Wow, okay. 20% of the room or so. The rest of you, if you haven't implemented, is it because you try and your boss is like stuck in the Stone Age? Or is it that, you know what, you don't even know where to start? Don't know where to start. It seems like a big topic. So let me tell you a little bit about that. And hopefully, by the end of the 45, 50 minutes with me, that you'll have some sort of an idea of what to do next. Cool? Okay, simple steps. Of course, I need to thank our sponsors. We have a couple of them for this particular session. BWH, of course, and whoa, we have whoa. Okay, and of course, I was told to ask you guys to download the app if you haven't already. The other, of course, for this particular session, is Wordly.ai. So download that, real life translation, same AI technology. So check them out, okay? All right, today's objectives. So I was telling you, let's start small, okay? Let's take something tangible away. If you guys heard my talk last year, I'm all about just doing something at the end. And then you submerge yourself into it more and get to know you. What is it that you want to do more? Especially with this AI topic. I talk about AI pretty much every week to different crowds. Okay, so and you guys are not alone. Like, as a matter of fact, 20% have some sort of AI technology. It's already a pretty good start. Where you guys are today. So kudos to you guys. But let's start with some basics. Number one, understand the fundamentals. Okay, I'm not going to bore you with any lectures, but understanding the fundamental, I think in this particular case, will help you get moving. And actually also remove that fear of AI altogether. Okay? Because if anyone proclaim that they're an AI expert right now, they're bullshitting you. Okay? I can tell you I am not. I am not. I self-proclaim though to be an AI practitioner. So I'll tell you the difference in a little bit. But the truth of the matter is the field is moving in such a rapid pace that it's really, really hard for someone to be an expert. Okay? What I tell you today actually might be fundamentally different in about 6 months' time. Actually, I can pretty much guarantee that it will be different in 6 months' time. The key is, though, because of such a rapid pace, and it's not like back in the old days where you're like, well, if I sit on it and when it matures, then I'll jump in 20 years. It's not one of those scenarios either, because in this race to AI, it's going to leave some companies behind. Guarantee you that. So you guys have to make implementing AI a part of your roadmap for sure this year, if not next year, just to get ahead of the curve. Cool? Next, the power of predictive analytics. If you think about AI, everything starts off with data. What is the machine learning from if you have no data? Okay, so First things first is about researching how you're collecting those data today. We're also going to talk a little bit about application in sales. I'm your sales expert here at GBTA. So when you think about it, I'm going to talk to you about how AI or how a tool in general can help you with sales process. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about potential challenges. Everyone talks about AI, and there's a little bit of people are scared. People are scared either because of the fear of the unknown, or they just scared. They're like, well, what if my data gets stolen? Or what if, of course, plenty of that we have to talk about. I was in another AI session last week about the idea of cyber, how those go hand in hand and the governance of data go hand in hand, and how the government, oh no, how the government, our hope tree, okay, so our governments across the world, different governments are putting different rules in place, which I'm going to also talk to you about some of the more Canadian rules, and as well as international bodies of governance that's going to help bridge some of those gaps. Cool? Last but not least, if I get into it, there's going to be some metrics on AI success. I mean, every one of us have a quota to hit here, I would imagine. So same idea, AI has to have some sort of quota as well. So what is it that we're pinning AI to do? Right. A little bit about me. Like I mentioned, on this stage and many others, generally I am the sales expert. Okay, I go to do talks around sales, customer relationship, customer journey, customer success. But lately, I've actually realized I found myself talking more and more about AI in sales. I think that's what people want to hear, and people are afraid. So, like I said, almost every week lately is about AI in sales. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm the head of sales here at Change Connect. We're a sales consultancy that help organization go through sales changes, sales training, sales implementation, AI implementation, CRM implementation, sales recruiting, anything to do with sales we do. All right? Now, learning outcome, like I mentioned to you, let's scratch all that. My number one thing for today really is to get you guys not to be scared of AI and see what can you do in 45 minutes time when you leave the room. Let's set that to be the goal today. On board? Okay, now let's get back to AI. When you think about AI, when you think about AI, one of the reasons why people are scared of AI is because everyone has a different definition of AI. So if I ask you what is the definition of AI versus I ask you what is the definition, likely it's going to be a little different. So I'm going to standardize that for you today. Okay? I'm going to say that AI is us using machine, and somehow they're able to mimic human actions or reactions. Okay? There's something called a Turing test. Turing test dictates that if someone from the outside look at a conversation between maybe even a human and a machine, and if they can't tell the difference who is the human and who is the machine, then that robot is deemed good for AI. That's kind of what AI is about, the premise of AI, and that's how people have defined it. Now, I'm going to give you another definition. I went to a collision last year across the street, and the one definition that kind of stood the test of time, at least for me, when I talk about this thing, is think about AI as you having 1,000 interns at the same time at your disposal. I think that's the best way I have seen or heard to describe a little bit more about AI. Because when you think about it, if you have 1,000 interns at your disposal, what is the pro? Like, what are some pros and cons in having 1,000 interns working for you? Remember? Oh, darn it! You're right. Remembering names. What else? Too many. Oh yeah. Okay. Too many. I'm gonna jump on that a little bit. Too many different opinions. What else? Perspectives. Different perspective, I would imagine. Okay. Lack of experience. Fantastic. Okay. So if you think about 1,000 interns working for you, you're able to churn some sort of data. You're asking these interns to do research for you, right? But you don't know where they get their research piece from. You don't know how much they have read through to get you that research piece that's on your table. You just know that this is the research that they have done. Then, as you should, you're going to fact check because you don't know where they get it from. You're unsure whether those are, maybe they get it off Reddit. Who knows, right? And then they present it to you as if it is the complete truth. Make sense? Okay. Same idea as you task an AI to do anything. Okay? Partially, number one, everyone have heard of hallucination in AI? Okay. In our world, like non-AI world, we'll call that fake news. Fair enough? And that's exactly the same problem if you have 1,000 interns. Because you don't know where they're grabbing the information from. You don't know if it's fake news, so you still have to fact check against your ChatGPT info. How many of you guys use ChatGPT? Okay. Okay, you do have to fact check, okay? Another issue around perspective and too many opinion is exactly that. Because of the way that, let's say, ChatGPT or Claude is what generally people like to use in the business world. When you look at those particular chatbots, the information you feed in is quite complex. You don't know what they're getting. They can be getting public information. They can be getting private information. And then they have layers of decision-making trees. Okay? Where my biggest concern is when you prompt it to say something, let's say for ChatGPT, the more I guess notable difference is if you put something in Claude, which is a competitor of ChatGPT, you actually get different answers, right? And the reason you get different answers is because the assumption to put into the bots are different. Now, you didn't drive the assumptions. So, same as interns. So the problem is, now you're going to have different sets of data coming back, and you don't know what to do with these sets of data. And if you blindly take those set of data and you act on those, what could be some issues? Consistency. I had a classic example. My son, I'm fascinated. My son is only in grade 8. And I remember in grade, I'm trying to learn oh God, I'm going to date myself. I had to go into grade 9, and we have a credit that we can do to learn how to type. Shh, shh, shh. Right? Full credit for that. Okay, so the other day he came to me and said, Mama, which book report cover looks better? So then I saw 2 book report cover. I'm like, oh, such a proud mom, right? Nicely done. Man, like so nice, summarizes the book well. And then I'm so well done. So I said, but I think there's something wrong with this and something wrong with that. Typical Asian moms. Then then I went back and I noticed that he typed something. And then I went back in like 15 minutes. I asked him, hey, did you fix what I told you to fix? He said, yeah, right here. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, how did you do that so fast? Oh, I just asked the AI to do it for me. And I'm like, oh, shoot. My grade 8 is using AI. Okay, but the problem is, and you use any of the AI, Gen AI app, is actually the same problem. You go, you ask them to do, let's say, and I have a sample later on. You prompt them, let's say, I want a cat driving a bus. They'll generate an image of a cat driving a bus. And you quite like that photo, but you're like, well, what if I want 2 cats driving a bus? And then you type 2 cat driving a bus. It's a completely different image that come out the second time. And you're like, oh, shit, I like the first one a little. I just needed a different cat on this. So there's still, of course, it's not mature enough. But the other way, especially because you guys are all using ChatGPT, one of my advice around using ChatGPT and these chatbots in general is to have a relationship with it. Same as having a relationship with your interns. Because if you work and you give feedback to your intern knows you better. And then by the time the intern takes in the feedback, next time when they give you another report, you incorporate that data. Same as your relationship with your chatbots. Okay? Cool? So same idea, but having the relationship, giving the feedback like you would an intern. Now, let's see. What else do I have for you guys today? Timeline. Okay. So a lot of people are unsure. They're like, wow, chatbot is so like, or AI is so new. Like, I'm not sure I can trust it. Now, I don't have to read all the small fonts there, but what I wanted to tell you is AI and machine learning isn't a new thing. Okay? The first time someone referred to this concept was back in the 1950s. 1950? Oh, 1950s. So a while ago. But when you think about the application of AI, it was very limited to academia. And when you think about academia, not like the universities today. Universities today now have a lot of incubators or innovation labs. Back in the day, when your idea is stuck in academia, it's not as well funded. And of course, if there's no business application, there is no commercialization. Okay? So there's a little bit of that research being stuck. Now, when we think about the 1990s, IBM really took on the idea of using it as a chatbot, customer service chatbot. And that's when Watson was introduced. Problems? Because there are server issues, if you think about it back then. Back then, we still have to use servers, right? We're not in the cloud. So we need space and we need capacity to manage those data. So it didn't really take off. Now, when you fast forward to sort of 2010 and where we are today around the ChatGPT, I think there's a lot of technological advances that allows us to be where we are today, okay, with the AIs. But that's what I wanted to talk about in this slide, is that there is a progression. And like all things, when we can find business application for an innovation, it allows us to take off faster. And you see the projection of the next 6 years is actually gangbuster. I'll show you in a little bit. A few types of AI. When we general public talk about AI, we're talking about these AI called what we call narrow AI. Okay, narrow AI is when AI is done to resolve a particular problem. And in here, I've laid out the types of AI in that narrow AI. Number one, the idea of out of the box. So I bought something. Let's say I want predictive analytics for sales forecasting. That's a problem I'm trying to resolve. So I'm going to go out in the marketplace and look for technology that will allow me to do better predictive analysis and forecasting for my sales team. Then we buy something out of the box. We're not building anything. We're buying something out of the box that has feature. All we have to do is put in data and allow our users to do that. Okay, what kind of data? Next, we have the idea of what we call pre-built technology. Pre-built technology are something to do a task, a particular task, like image recognition. And if you guys have accounting, or maybe you guys use it too, there's this technology called character recognition. So when they scan, they recognize the technology, recognize the image, and they're able to spit that out in characters instead of an image. There's a specific task that they have to do, and it's pre-built. Okay? Last but not least is custom. Okay, custom AI is not what I wanted to talk about today, but I want to give you a classic example how custom AI is actually very valuable if your company can have the funds to build it. So everyone has been on an Uber, I assumed. The one feature that we all hate the most is surge pricing. Yes, surge pricing. Okay, so surge pricing is exactly an AI analytical tool. Next time, how many of you guys have actually opened your Uber app and then ask your partner to open to plunk in exactly the same place, going to exactly the same place, and realize that you get two different prices? Really? How many people have tried that? You guys are hospitality people. You guys have to know these things. Okay. So yes, if you and your workmate go to exactly the same conference tomorrow morning, I don't know where you guys are living, different people plunking in a same destination because of your buying behavior, you will get different price coming here. Yes. We're actually hypothesizing that if you actually also have Lyft app open, whether that will actually change your Uber pricing as well. Ah, yes. Yes, that, and also they also track. The other thing that they track is how often you go. Let's say you want to get an Uber to the airport the next day, and you keep like if you keep opening your app every 5 minutes to get that, versus if you just wait, you did it once, and then you wait until the end of the night. Now you don't care. Take the taxi if you want. Then the price doesn't go up as much either. So they're tracking user behavior to drive. Yeah. But in our world, we do the same thing, right? So now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because if you think about Uber, right? Uber is not just a ride sharing company; they are a technology company, right? The reason that surge pricing model we did a business case on it. That's actually why Uber's worth billions of dollars. And that is an AI tool. That is actually, it falls into right into category 3, your custom AI tool. So AI tool can actually elevate your company share prices and your valuation. Now, so aside from all that, so it's not just an efficiency play, it also actually generate wealth. So far so good. I'm not boring you guys. Okay, cool. Now, a few things. I told you I'm not here to build the next Uber. I wish I'm not. So now when you think about how can AI help with us day to day, I generally bucket those into 3 different categories. Okay? Number one, number one is I want to use AI to find efficiency and productivity. Okay? Bucket number 1. Bucket number 2 is I want to use AI to find to service my customer better. So better customer experience, better engagement with my customers. Number 3 bucket is I'm going to use AI to find better analytics and better way for me to forecast and trend and reporting. Those are generally, like when we go to client side, those are the 3 different buckets that we try to find improvement for our clients. Okay? Start simple. Remember I told you today? Now, the easiest way is automate repetitive tasks. Okay, let me ask, do we have another mic around? Okay, shout it out. Doesn't look like it. Is there a repetitive task that you do every day that you're like, wow, I wish a robot would do that for me? I know. I'm with you. I'm with you. Production reports. What meetings? Yeah, meetings. Yeah. Sending. Well, it depends on what kind of emails. That's the other tips for implementing AI too. Is this what you find to be value add to your customer is stuff that I want you to keep with a human. Stuff that you don't believe is value add to your customer, I want to subcontract to a robot. Okay. That can get complicated. Because email, there are value added email, and then there are repetitive, boring emails. Right? So it's not by task per se, because even in a task, you have to break it down into what's value to customer versus what is not value to customer. But that's generally where I would look for AI improvements. So far, so good. Anything else AI can help you guys with, you think? Scheduling. Social media. Oh my God. Social. If you guys have you, how many guys do your own social media? Okay. If you guys haven't looked into AI tools to do social media yet, start having that relationship with that Gen AI tool. It is so sophisticated. The word, like, I am not an English major. I'm an engineer by trade, actually. So I'm very analytical. But when I want to say something, I'm not very articulate. So now with a lot of these Gen AI tool, I'm able to have a relationship with my AI, and then my word comes out exactly like the way that I wanted it, but only nicer. So that I would highly suggest it. Okay, that you guys use that Gen AI for words, but also for graphics to go along with your words. Very, very, very much um, will efficiency play there. Now, I want to let you guys know not to be scared of AI because technically you interact with AI every day. 80% of the room use ChatGPT, so that's one way. The other way is Netflix. You're every time you're picking a show and you're stopping to watch or not to watch a show, you're feeding data to Netflix for them to suggest shows that you would like to you. That is a custom AI application for you. So because they want to be more relevant to you as a user. So think about AI in that context because AI is not all bad if you're using it for a purpose that makes sense because it enhances customer experience without you having to think twice. I'm going to stop here and give you a classic example. So I was at Salesforce Dreamforce conference annual conference last year, and every tech conference last year was all about AI. So they did an AI demo around Salesforce applications, and I found this one very interesting. It was about someone that I think is something you guys can relate to. So there's this lady that it was Canada Goose example. It's a Canada Goose example. There was a lady that bought this I guess gray Canada Goose jacket, but didn't end up liking it and ended up returning it about 10 months ago. Okay. And they tracked it they tracked it in Salesforce, and they're also able to, based on the historical buying pattern of this lady, realize that she spends generally about $2,317 every year with Canada Goose. So based on all that statistics, they were able to put her at the gold tier customer tier. Now, that, of course, is not one direct database. There's a customer service database there, there's a sales database there, there's a marketing database there, right? Complex, remember I told you AI, the reason why AI is unpredictable is because it layers so many layers on top to get you a suggestion. Okay, and this is where the human eye comes into play. So now, apparently this lady's back on their website, have something in their cart, didn't end up buying it. So now, the lady somehow have messaged the customer service, the chatbot, and actually landed on some customer service representative. And Salesforce was able to come back with a message saying, number one, recognizes that you didn't like gray. Recognizing you didn't like gray. Understanding the whole gold tier thing. We value you as a customer at our gold tier level. We want you to buy this red jacket that's in the cart right now. We think it's going to be very trendy for the season. We're going to offer you 10% discount. And all the customer service representative had to do was review, look at the file very quickly, and in 30 seconds was able to send that message back to the customer. Okay? In order for think about this way. In order for that customer service representative to do her own research in the various different databases to get to this particular offer, she'll get there eventually. It wouldn't be 30 seconds though. Okay? But that is the power of AI and using what I just called earlier out of the box AI functionality. So far so good? Okay. Now, what are some AI applications that we have seen in the workplace? How many of you guys in sales right now? Okay, fantastic. Okay. What's your most hated part of your job? The whole job. But I know we love the commission part. So okay, so we have to take the good and the bad together. Networking. Networking. You want some networking tips? I'm going to get sidetrack here a little bit. I, believe it or not, I'm an introvert. I just do this for a living, but I am an introvert. I am the top sales of the company as well. So for me to come out to a networking event, I think a few of you guys saw. I was just sitting there. I was just sitting there. I could have gone and talked to some of you, but my introverted self told me today that I'm a speaker. I don't have to pick up any network today. But I get paid already. But okay. But when I actually head up to networking events, because how many of you guys are introvert? Wow, oh, actually not today. This is more extrovert than introverts. Okay. So the way I do it as an introvert, and see if this helps you guys. I do a point system. So I say every time I actually get my butt out of my office to go somewhere, I have to pick up 12 points. And then there are different points categories. So as soon as I finish picking up if I'm very efficient at my job and I pick up my 12 points, then I can get out of there. But if it happens to be like gambling night like last year, I end up staying the whole night. So but I think that allows you to be able to get your metrics done, which is some relates to some of this. But my whole point of sales is frustrating. I live that life every day, so I know what you guys are going through. So if you think about it, my worst part is doing expenses. Mm-hmm. I hate expenses. I actually like meeting people. I hate doing expenses. I hate doing weekly reports. I hate forecasting. I hate I hate typing emails. I hate cutting and pasting. I think the list goes on. Okay. But this is what I'm trying to say. The life of a rep is actually it's not easy. I think the sales as a profession is pretty misunderstood. Like I post on LinkedIn. Ah, by the way, please add me on LinkedIn. I'm like one of three Agnes Lands in this world apparently. So I'm probably not that hard to find. Open book when talk about sales and AI stuff. But right, easy, easy fun, easy match. So when you think about the whole sales process, we go out and we post things that make us look glamorous. Well, I'm going to a couple of golf events this month. Wow, your life must be pretty easy. I'm at this conference this week. Wow, you're traveling to Toronto? Man, you're so cool. Right? Man, your work let you do all these travel. But we all know as a sales group here that it's not easy. So it's frustrating. We have to dial, we have to do the research, we have to do the customer, we have to look up customer. If you want to be relevant, right? You get one chance at it. If you go into a deal cold, you're not going to close. As a matter of fact, you'll probably spend if you go into a meeting prepared, you'll probably shrink the number of meetings down. Instead of doing 7 meetings, you probably would have been able to close that deal in 7 or in 4 or one if you're a superstar. Okay? So if you think about what AI can do for you, that's kind of what I want to raise is I don't need you to do your own research anymore. The tool for you to do customer research it's very, very mature, right? You just have to read what they feed you. It goes all the way down to what did your prospect post for the last 3 months, and they can find trends in what is it that they like, telling you what is it that they like. Oh, this person was an ex-military. They are involved in the military sort of community, and they're fundraising for Reno. This is a real scenario. Reno for vets, and this is where you actually find him at this particular event. Okay, there's actually tools that allow you to do that now. So all I'm saying is we don't have to do any of that. Some of that more administrative work and background research can be done with an AI. Earlier, we talked a little bit about email. Same idea. follow-up emails. As a matter of fact, now like there's a few different type of products that we sell and different stages. So by product line, by stages, we actually have these automatic emails that goes out based every few days. So I don't have to even do the follow-up email anymore. It based on their feedback back to me, they can actually pick up the response and actually feed them another sequence of emails to go out. Because the key, if you think about sales, a lot of times cracking sales is being in the right place at the right time, right? It's creating that serendipity feel. But serendipity is backward engineered if you think about it. But if you want to be efficient, then you can let the robot figure out exactly when you have to be where at what time, and they will do the legwork until you're ready to close them. That's what the power of AI can do for you. We were doing an implementation, and the metrics is astounding. In order for the metrics with them before us going in, each rep can manage 40 different active deals going on at the same time and maintain the proper level of service. And after implementing AI, then they didn't even do a lot of workflows. They just did the bare minimum efficiency workflow and customer touchpoint workflow. And now each rep can take on 100 active deal at any given time. Cool? Now, 53% of sales professionals doesn't even know how to generate the value of Gen AI. So one of the things, try to take a look at Gen AI and what Gen AI can do for you, even if you are the best writer in the world, right? If you have someone else to write for you, you're just editing, that's going to still be much faster. Our company, we do like consulting, I told you. Our report, after using Gen AI to do our reporting, our efficiency on the consulting department went up 35% last year. Okay, and just it is no different than not hiring the person. It's just a person now using the robot to do the writing, and hence the writing is smoother, but the person is not writing repetitive work anymore. And as a matter of fact, when you use a person to write repetitive work, what I find is that they copy and paste from the last report anyways, and then all of a sudden you lose all the client-specific information to begin with. So, and as a matter of fact, Gen AI actually wouldn't do that. 50 here is Mama told you one takeaway from today, if nothing else, is use AI to help you craft messages that is more personalized. I think that's my biggest takeaway. It's an easy, low-hanging fruit to do, and it drives lots of upside with the customer feeling like that you really know what's going on with that file. Okay, that's my first place. Now, future day with AI. We talked about it being more engaged. Your customer should be more engaged with you. Number two, there should be more value add to every interaction you have with your customer. Okay, think about you as being that value add, right? Why are hotels, we're just talking about this, why are hotels $200 versus $400 versus $600, right? You are the reason, right? That conference, why is it $20,000 versus $40,000? You have to be the reason that they're willing to pay for that. Because venue aside, that's hardware, but the software is also what your customer's searching for. By the way, I'm looking for good Montreal hotel deals and London hotel deals. If you guys have, please come and scan my badge right after this. Assist with the sales process, that's another one. I find that AI is also very helpful with training new sales reps. It gives it a more consistent brand image. You're not leaving it up to the newbies to figure their sales process out. So I highly value that part of sales training and using AI to standardize at least the branding and the touch points. Last but not least, impact. Driving impact to every deal. Talk about the digital robot, that's what I'm trying to get at, and AI assistant, you guys should be able to do that. Couple of issues, okay? Remember I told you it's a little bit like an intern. So when you think about AI being an intern, my prompt to an AI was a cat sitting on a tree smiling. If I tell you that, you know it's image 2. You know it's a blue image, right? Because why would a tree be smiling? Make sense? Okay. But if you tell an intern and or you tell an AI, the first image is what came out. The cat is sitting on a tree, the tree is smiling. Okay? That's why your instruction to your AI is so important. That's why your instruction to your intern should also be is also very important. But you see what I'm talking about? The AI prompts. Everyone talks about AI prompt. Oh, it's not, Gen AI is not giving me what I want. This Gen AI sucks. Okay? That's what I hear all the time. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of time we're not used, like human language isn't the same as prompt language. So as you have and you gain experience writing prompt to AI, that will help you actually get better results. Okay? Yeah, you should use Gen AI at work. We talked a little bit earlier about data privacy issues, algorithm bias, that one, because you don't know what really is the suggest, like what is the backbone of why they suggest something to you. You don't really know. I think that's where the scary part is because you don't know, you can't validate. Like at least if I give you advice, you're like, oh, Agnes looks like a trustworthy person. Her background, like she's been in sales for 20 years. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna trust her because whatever she's telling me is a cube of what she have learned in the past 20 years, right? But AI is not the same. You can't judge that. How many people work for Air Canada here? No, Air Canada. All right, I can talk all the stuff. This is an interesting case, and I want to bring it up because I think it's really relevant. Back, anyone heard of this AI lawsuit to begin with? Hey, cool. So back, I think Remembrance Day 2022, there was this customer that went online to chat with a chatbot, and they needed to get a bereavement fair pricing. Okay, they need to. I think I can't remember where they were flying to, Calgary to Toronto, something like that. I can't remember. And the chatbot have informed them that yeah, no problem because of your urgency in this matter. Buy your ticket at full price, and email this particular. Even give them an email, right? So it sounds it sounds real. Email this email after your trip is done, and we'll give you a reimbursement. Okay. So now in the lawsuit, of course there, I don't know if you guys know, but you can't get a reimbursement off your bereavement fare. You just have to get it before you fly. That's kind of the procedure. So in this case, they actually sue Air Canada. They said, well, I don't care if it's a chatbot, but a chatbot have told me that this is the procedure and I need to get my refund. And Air Canada tries, actually, it's interesting because Air Canada tries to distance themselves from their own chatbot. They said, well, the chatbot told you what they told you, but I already have a page on here, this page on our website that tells you this is not the procedure. So no, I'm not giving you your refund. So that's actually where how the court case went. And at the end, the government ruled that the Air Canada actually have to issue that refund because the chatbot is part of Air Canada's entity, and when the customer buy and uses this platform, it's because they believe in the chatbot. They believe in the Air Canada brand, and hence they actually have to issue that refund, as per what the chatbot told them. Now, going back to what I said, issue is because chatbot have got so much information from everywhere in their internal system that this was what they picked up. So using AI have that, I'm not going to say issue, it comes with that part that you have to double check, triple check. Like AI is part of you. You cannot say, oh, AI is a separate thing. Like just like an employee would have done that, the employee is a part of you. Okay? Putting AI to work. Now, I know it wasn't very interactive today, but let me put you guys through an example. So you have Michael Rodriguez here. He's 44, business traveler, lives in Chicago, married with 2 children, travel to business conferences upscale dining, explore local cuisine. His history is he likes to book hotel that is close to the conference itself, prefer hotels with loyalty programs, and previously stayed and preferred rooms with ergonomic workspace. His inquiry coming in have asked you for this. He initiated contact through the website chatbot and inquire about upcoming promotion and business amenities. He expressed interest in room upgrade and loyalty program details and mentioned that there's a desire for information on nearby fitness and wellness center. Okay. How should you respond? Check his history. Check his history. Yeah. What else? I tried. I'm not dealing with a very interactive room today. Yeah. You have to look. You have to look, right? You have to look at his history. And the reason why I'm thank you for saying that. The reason why that is important is because that's actually what a chatbot would do as well. That's what your AI would do. They would look at his history. So here the recommendation that you can move over to AI is the follow up should ask or provide detail, ask them for the detailed of the upcoming business related events. You should highlight your particular loyalty program and the benefit and the various different upgrade options. We should also talk about your partnership with various different wellness centers and then personalize some family friendly offers to them. Okay, and everything that I'm doing here right now, if you guys are doing it manually from the front desk, it can actually all be done through AI. Okay, all right, measures of success, last but not least today. So if how many of you guys are interested in implementing some sort of AI after this? Okay, cool. So now, same as our sales targets, how am I scaring you guys? Just okay, cool. Okay, cool. So you're just not giving me a lot of feedback. I don't know if you guys are listening or not today. So here, if you think about the reason for why, and one of the things I always specify and emphasize with the client is like the idea of okay, tomorrow I'm going to go and I'm going to implement AI is not a strategy. AI is too broad. Okay? I need you to go and think what is it that I want to implement to drive what kind of outcome? That's probably the easier way for you to start. I want to improve my NPS score, and hence working backwards, I want more. I want more customer touch point. I want better interaction with my customer to improve my NPS score. Okay, or it could be that I want our closing ratio to increase for my not room bookings, but let's say I want my closing ratio for my conference booking to go from 24% to 49%, and I think I can do it through dynamic pricing models. Right? And if that is the case, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to look at dynamic pricing models of your competitors within your vicinity, and based on that, come up with a more realistic pricing model for the dates that they're looking for, allowing you to close it based on price. But that's kind of what I want to get at is Gen AI and AI in general is so broad, you have to find a specific use case to get started. Then, especially because I think a lot of times when we talk and take the topic on the road to employees, they think that AI is going to take over their job. And it's not. That's why I emphasize today that I need the human brains around to still do the value added services. Okay? I just need the boring stuff to go away and have the AI to deal with the data involved. Okay? And that's why when you think about AI and what to do, there's a little bit of that measure. Understand what is a business measure. And also, because I get client telling me a lot, like when we talk about measures of success, they say, well, 89% of my people are opening our sales force every day. Okay, yes, that is a leading indicator, but is it driving business success is where I kind of ultimately want you guys to hold your people accountable to, right? Opening an app is not a measure of success. Okay? Um, Next, we talked about ISO. So there's this new rule around ISO 42001, which talks and speaks in this. I think it's very. I remember told you this feels very new. This is established last December. Like I think even when we were off, last December in Europe. So a lot of times, a lot of these data privacy rules and regulation, they do generate and come from the Europe first before they come here. But it is something that we're expecting that it is going to be on our radar soon. This is the slide I want to wrap today up with. Is if you think about, remember I said, well, back in 1950 we did this, and then 1990 we did this, and 2020 we did this. If you think about it, the next 6 years, they're claiming that by 2030, there's a McKinsey report that says 70% of the business will use Gen AI for their is a key part of their operations by 2030. Okay, so there's some other research here as well that speaks to a higher GDP, but use the 2030 one as a benchmark. Okay, operationally, if you look left, if you look right, 2 out of the 3 of you by 2030 will be very familiar with using AI. So you have 6 years to get there. Okay, is the messaging here. 5 tips to get started. Like I told you, do your research, prioritize your improvement, take the small steps, address the fundamentals, some of the fundamental gaps. But with your first one, definitely start small, scale up. Okay, don't go the other way around. I worry that if you just try to drive it home with some sort of a big project, then it will never take off to begin with. I think see some early traction is the best way to get buy-in from leadership, and then be committed to being a long term journey. That's it from me. Thank you so much for our sponsors today as well for this. If there's any questions, I'm going to stick around here for a little bit to answer any questions. And thank you so much, guys, for spending time with me today.